Good morning, Year 8. Welcome to your Week 5 assembly. This assembly builds on the social and community messages that our previous assemblies have had, and this one is about reconnecting. So as you're hearing lots of things on the news about the lockdown in the UK being relaxed to the point where it pretty much disappears, many things reopening, it's more about how we're reconnecting with the world in a different way, and thinking about how we've changed over the time that we've been apart from each other and what we're going to do to come back. It's a very unique position that you're in. Not many young people have ever had this kind of opportunity to really reinvent themselves for the post-lockdown world. So with that in mind, it's a theme of kindness really, and thinking about how you might come back stronger, come back fairer, and build back better. Those are phrases that have been used to describe what people want from shops and businesses and industries and laws and things like this. Only 6%, apparently, only 6% of people want to go back to what it was like before the pandemic. That means 94% of people think a positive change can be made. That's incredibly important to realize what a huge number of people that is. That means most people recognize that there was a problem with what life was like before, and they think coming back after the lockdown is a good chance to fix that. So in the Sky News article down here it says, including higher quality public services, good jobs, a reduction in inequality. That's really important because that's exactly what we've been talking about for the last few weeks in our assemblies. And protection for the planet, which goes back to our assembly last week. So I almost feel a little bit like I've gone forward in time and seen what people were thinking, because it seems to me that a lot of what our assemblies have been about are exactly what lots of people are thinking needs to change for the future. And obviously that's not because I have been to the future, guys, it's just because I've spent time thinking about it. It's quite obvious to many people that the world had serious problems before the pandemic, and we've all had a lot of time to sit and think about what's really important. Now I want to draw your attention to the images at the top of the screen here that we've seen before. We saw these last week. It's about plastic pollution, pollution on the roads, and the overcrowding and other things like this, the toxic air in London. But then I want you to look downwards, and these are the human stories, okay? So on the left here you've got a sad image of somebody seeking human kindness, a homeless person, and unfortunately even where I live in Windsor I see many people without access to housing and basic services, and that's something that's always upset me, and for a long time I've felt pretty helpless as to do anything. But on the right is an article from Age UK which is showing a bit of hope here. People have really come together in a sense of community and helping each other, and if we could translate that across the world and we could combine it with the lessons that we've all been learning about each other and about ourselves in the last few weeks and months, we really might be able to turn the corner as a human community and really make a big difference. So the link down at the bottom of the page, if you want to find that, it's a really interesting article, and it's a nice heartwarming article that shows how individual people have been showing their communities that humanity is inherently good and that we can move past problems together and really forge a new future in a really positive way. So once again, here we are, we're looking at our small community home, our neighbourhood, right there and there. And it's more obvious the more you think about it, and the more we really are isolated from each other, and how much we'd like to be together. When we are back together, how important it is that we all start acting like one community. So, what have you been doing? Well, I was quite impressed again with the amount of work that I personally received as a teacher from all the different year groups in history. That was great. I was very happy with the number of students, and from your year group as well, our year group. But if I look at the pattern here, it seems that although you are doing vastly better than 2 weeks ago, we've had a little bit of a dip in productivity since last week when I was extremely happy with you. So it's not a major problem. We've only gone up 3% in the red, and we're still well below where we were 2 weeks ago, and we're still well above where we were in green. So that's good, that's impressive, so keep it up. But what I want you to think about is this. We've got 3 weeks left of the academic term. Now, it's really important that you do everything that you're being asked to do, because the work that we're going to start in September is going to be based on the work that you've done up till now during the lockdown. So the more you've done, the better you'll have a chance of being up with everyone else when you start in September. If you've not been doing the work, chances are you're not watching this assembly, and you're one of the ones who's going to be left behind. So if you know that there's a friend of yours who's not doing any work at home, please just send them a text or send them a message on WhatsApp saying, hey, you're getting left behind and I'm your friend, I don't want you to be left behind. They might not listen to you, they might not even appreciate the message, but one of these days at least you can say you tried. And well done to those who are working really well. You'll be celebrated shortly. Right guys, so we've got some really great students here who've worked really hard this week, got 0 negative points and only positives. So if your name's up there, that's a shout out to you. So fantastic, all of you guys in green. In the tutor playoffs for points, SSI brings up the winning numbers this week because of a 0 points difference. We've got 81 negatives and 81 positives, quite a coincidence. In second place is MUB with -20, and LOR follows up in third with -28. Everyone else, let's do a little bit of work and see if we can get those points differences reduced, and maybe even some positive points differences next week. That would be a wonderful way to start drawing down towards the summer. So Year 8, something very important that's going to be happening in the next 3 weeks. So this week, next week and the week after, before we break up, we are going to be holding Zoom calls with your tutors. So on the screen is the groups from ASE. So these are groups that Miss Cisse thinks people get on and they'd like to see each other, people would like to speak to each other. There are only spaces for up to 6 people in any group, guys. So your tutors have put you somewhere where they think you have friends, where you can talk to people. And it's really important to all of us that you have a nice discussion. So all of you are able to speak to each other politely, in a friendly way, and see each other. It's also important that if your tutor asks you a question, you think of a way to answer it. They might ask you things about what you've been up to, what work you found easy, what work you found difficult. But this is mostly a chance for you to just speak to each other face to face, and the whole idea is that you remember what your form is like and what it's like to be part of our school community. So you'll get an invitation in an email from your tutors. You will get a reminder from me 2 days before that invitation to remind you that the call is coming up. It's really important, guys, that we attend, and the tracker that you can see on the screen there is what I will be looking at to see who's turned up and who hasn't. It's just a chance to chat and get back on good terms with everyone in your form. So I can't wait to see the results of some of those. That will be fantastic, and I hope you're looking forward to them as well. Right, so the lucky 7, let's go. Let's see who's going to get them this time. If you divide 68 by 4 and add 3 to that number, then multiply the whole thing by my age, what number do you get? Be careful. Number 2, which colour is associated with good luck in China? Number 3, when was the United Nations founded? When was it started? Number 4, Who sang the English folk song Streets of London? It's a very interesting song, and it's very topical for this assembly. Who sang the English folk song Streets of London? 5. What is the message of this song? 6. Name 2 charities which help old people. And number 7. What should you do with the Zoom invitation email from your tutor? So there was a message at the bottom of the screen and the last slide. What was that message? So, final thoughts from me, guys. I saw this image on the right, and although it doesn't exactly match with social distancing, it does match lots of different things that we've looked at. The idea that 2 human beings are there to support each other in this small blue sphere that we all inhabit. The more we feel like we're part of a community and there to help one another, the more comfortable and homely the earth will be for all of us. And it's the same message over and over and over again because it's so important. So take that with you, guys. Take care this week. Have a wonderful week, and I look forward to seeing you soon.